Yes, I thought about that.
Okay, good morning. We'll now convene the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, December 1st. I am the chair, Sean Flowerday. With me is Vice Chair and Commissioner Rick Vest, as well as Commissioner Deb Shore, Commissioner Rome Amundsen, and Commissioner Krista Yoakum. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please begin.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from county clerk staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes of approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, November 24th, 2020.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is claims. Approval of all claims processed through December 1st, 2020, and this needs to be amended to include payment to 2 election day workers.
I will move approval of the claims with the addition of the payments to the 2 payroll workers.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 are consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there's an exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are approval of amendments to the following contracts. C-17-768 with Midwest Services and Sales Company for annual supply grader blades. C-20-132 with Hallworth Inc. for furniture, installation, and related products and services. C-18-716 with Lampe's Clean Air Specialist for annual supply HVAC filters. Amendments to the following county contracts for annual service, noxious weed spraying and mowing. C-19-777 with Gary's Lawn and Landscape, and C-19-776 with Beatrice Lawn Care.
I move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 4 is new business. 4A is a resolution or matter of authorizing use of County Visitors Improvement Fund for visitor promotion.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Jeff Mall, Convention and Visitors Bureau in beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy to see all of you this morning, and happy holiday season to each one of you. I have with me today Becky Parrott, the chair of the Visitors Promotion Committee. We have about 2 or 3 items we need to bring to your attention. One of which is item number 1, having to do with the additional 0.5% lodging tax request, a process in which we convert improvement fund dollars over to promotion to allow us to pay out bid fees for events that we bring to Lincoln. And I can tell you, we've only had 4 events this year that we've been able to honestly do the way they were meant to be done. And it breaks my heart to stand here and say that. The pandemic has obviously been hard to so many of us, but our tourism partners, our lodging industry, all of us are going through this. And we only hope that March and April of next year are what I call beacon months, and we can start to turn things around. I hope and pray for it every day. I know our hotel partners are strapped with a very difficult next 3 months. So we're going to do everything we can to put heads in beds and feet in the sheets and chuckle about it and do everything we can to keep tourism alive. The 3 events that I have in front of you today are the Nebraska Quarter Horse Association, the AMA State Championships, which took place out at the LSF Motocross course out in North Lincoln, and the Central Plains Reining Horse Association, and NSAA State High School volleyball. I'm very blessed to have all three of those. I have to take my hats off to Amy Dickerson and her work at the Lancaster Event Center to make two of those happen. Dan Lessoing and his staff out at the motocross, and of course our good friends with the NSA and Pinnacle Bank Arena that had an event that did really well and was well attended. So with that, I'm asking for approval for the $72,750 to cover those expenses and to keep our process alive as we move tourism forward.
Move approval.
I'll second.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest. Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. B is a resolution in a matter of suspending the Lancaster County Visitors Improvement Fund grant program through June 30th, 2021.
So at our April virtual meeting, the VPC approved a suspension of the Improvement Fund grant program until December 31st, 2020, with the future still unclear and limited fund availability for new grants, since we must pay those that are previously approved and build the balance for eventual resumption. It is felt the most prudent course of action is to continue the suspension until June 30th, 2021. And the VPC motion passed 5-0.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Very difficult times. Has to be hard on you all as you try to maintain and persevere through this. And just thank you for all your efforts. It's a really unusual economic time for so many. And so thank you to all you're doing to help keep everything afloat until we get back to better times.
Thank you, Rick.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is waiver of Article 3, Section 2 of the Lancaster County Visitors Promotion Committee bylaws and extending the term of the Lancaster County Visitors Promotion Committee members Becky Parrott and Roland Morgan through June 30th, 2021 due to the disruption caused by the COVID-19 crisis.
So at our April meeting, committee member terms for Roland and myself were extended from May 31st to December 31st of this year. And again, considering the ongoing situation, we agreed to stay on until June 30th, 2021. And as was just mentioned, this requires a request to the county board to waive the bylaws in regards to serving 2 consecutive terms.
Move.
Jeff, you could handle hanging around with Becky for another 6 months here.
Well, you got to give me about a half hour, and I can tell you how happy I am to have Becky and Roland. And really quickly before you talk about this, I cannot tell you how fortunate I am to have an incredible visitors promotion committee that puts in 3 hours some months every quarter in reviewing our grant documents, and to have a leader in the restaurant industry like Becky leading this and maintaining some consistencies for us are everything. And I think when we get to next year, we're going to look back on how much stronger we are as an industry, how much better we are as people, and how this industry is going to kind of wrap themselves around one another and come back. So I thank Becky and Roland and the entire committee for all of the work that they put in. And all of you, thank you so much for your support of tourism. Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll get things rolling, and 21 will be a great year for us.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Chili's back at Runza. Good news.
Yes. Selling like hotcakes.
And the cinnamon rolls.
And the cinnamon rolls as well.
Oh, yeah.
All righty. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4D is an amendment to the City County Federal Procurement Manual due to the increase in the bid threshold enacted by the county in 2019 and changes to the federal micro purchase threshold.
Anyone here to speak on this?
Bob is unable to be here today, but this basically brings the
county's federal procurement manual in line with the rest of our purchasing documents. So there's not a lot of major changes in this. It's basically updating our thresholds so they're consistent across the board.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Is the appointment or appointments to the Lancaster County Extension Board for a term from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2023 for the following: Nathan Woods, Trudy Pedley, and Chris Scow.
Good morning. I'm not sure where you want us. Can we just spread out here a little bit? So if you
Yeah, I think that's
just
great.
go over there. So good morning. Good to see your half faces, I guess. I miss your whole faces, and it's been a long time since I've actually seen any of you in person, and kind of some hair coloring changes and some different things going on, and so it's great to see you. But on behalf of Extension, I just, we again want to thank you. Haven't had much opportunity this year to visit with you about that type of thing and what's going on, but we are continuing working like always and moving forward. It's just done in some different ways right now, and as the gentleman indicated, earlier, it's I think we're going to come out of all of this stronger as well, and not take advantage of the simplicity of just organizing a meeting in our conference rooms or something. So thanks for your continued support as well. But today then I wanted to introduce, we are moving forward, of course, as we always do, with new members on our board. And we have two of the three here this morning with us. And so I'll introduce Trudy Pedley and Chris Scow. And you've seen them both before, or most of you have anyway, because they are up for reappointment for a second 3-year term on the board. And so Nate Woods, and I know several of you know him. We had a conversation yesterday, and he was not going to be coming this morning, but he has worked with several of you, I believe, and so you kind of know who that is. Hopefully we can bring him in at some point and introduce him as well. But he is our newest member and will be serving now his first 3-year term. Beginning in January. So we're here today, I guess, to ask for your approval and appoint the 3 new members that will begin their new terms in January. Do you have any questions for either of our folks here today, or any other questions about extension, I guess?
We just appreciate your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you've had a lot of experience and everything, and definitely this is something that's near and dear to your heart.
Commissioner Vest.
Yeah, thank you for signing back up. You've had 4 years, so you have a feel for it, and now you have that experience. So thank you for giving 4 more years to our community, and probably extension's more important now instead of less, I'd say. All that outreach that's so badly needed to keep folks steering in the right direction on issues.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that, because we have seen, and there are highlights report, if you know about that. I kind of tout that every year, but that'll be coming out now in the January edition of the Nebline, and that will show kind of what's been going on. A lot of it, of course, virtual, but we're reaching more people with those virtual programs, especially like childcare providers that need that training for their work. And so it's just been amazing to see kind of how people have shifted a little bit. But yeah, pretty important work going on there. And we have kind of a new leader we are in engagement zones now instead of the districts that we kind of used to be in. And the engagement zone leader for Lancaster and Douglas Sarpy is Cindy Zludicki, and she's joining us this morning. And so hopefully we'll get some more interaction with Cindy and all of you upcoming as well. So.
Great, I move approval of these nominations.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
4F is appointment of Nicole Bogan as the county liaison to the library board of the Lincoln City Libraries for a term concluding August 31st, 2027.
Good morning.
I'm Pat Leach, the Director of Lincoln City Libraries. I met with you last week, and it is my honor and privilege to introduce Nicole Bogan to you as the newest person on the library board serving in the capacity of county liaison.
Good morning. Nice to see you all.
I wasn't sure if you had any questions of Nicole before the appointment moves forward.
This is a great appointment.
Thanks for representing us.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, Nicole.
Good to see you too, Rick.
Going to put all that good railroad experience to positive use here, I see.
Well, an informed citizenry is important to our democracy, and I love libraries, and I've always spent a lot of time in the Lincoln Library, so being able to serve and give back to that and serve our greater Lancaster County out where I live near Bennett and other areas in the county is a real honor. So thank you for letting me serve in that way.
Okay, move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I'd just say, as someone who's seen Nicole in everything from work boots to trial dress, she's well capable of being a positive part of our community, so.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on the team. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is reappointment of Commissioner Deb Shore to two-year term on the District Energy Corporation Board of Directors for a term commencing January 1st, 2021.
Move,
She here today?
I don't know, do you want me to go down there and tell you about myself or something?
I guess we couldn't get anybody else. All right.
Job's still open. Four of you can fit.
Be careful.
move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. H is an agreement with Axon Enterprises, Inc. for a 5-year subscription to evidence.com in order to receive video evidence from University of Nebraska Lincoln Police Department. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. I is a memorandum of understanding with Envirotech Services to provide corrosion inhabited liquid magnesium chloride. The term of the MOU is from the date of execution through September 21st, 2021. The cost of county is not to exceed $10,000.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Does anyone know what we do with corrosion-inhabited liquid magnesium chloride?
No idea.
Okay.
I was assuming we had someone smarter than us out there who's handling this.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest, Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 5 is update on COVID-19 and Lancaster County response.
Anyone have anything regarding the COVID-19 update?
Number 6 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business, not on the agenda, we do so at this time.
Sorry, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to have us go back an item real quickly. Did you want to talk about procedures for possible digital meetings, or do we want to do that at staff?
I was gonna do that at staff.
Staff? Okay, sounds good. All right. Sorry, now we can move forward with public comment. Any members of the public here wishing to speak on items not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, move on to item number 7.
Announcements of the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Tuesday, December 1st, 2020, immediately following the Board of Equalization meeting in Room 112 of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, December 8th, 2020, at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will be adjourned from Monday, December 21st, 2020 through Monday, January 4th, 2021. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commission@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
Move we adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
we are adjourned. We'll now convene the Lancaster County Board of Equalization meeting for Tuesday, December 1st.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, November 17, 2020.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 2 are appeal on disqualification from special Greenbelt valuation for the following: Pioneer Partners, Bonita McMullen, and Mark Hedrick.
Anyone here to, yeah? Oh, we've got,
My name is Ben James. I am Pioneer Partners. I've owned the land for 30-some years. Lot number 4 is just practically completely landlocked. There's just like no access to it. I built a house on lot 7. It was on the market for well over 2 years with not an offer, and so I wound up moving into it where I currently live. We initially wanted to build on lots 10 and 11, but the soil percolation did not allow a septic system. There were too many trees for a lagoon. So I put a well on the land right between 10 and 11 for my house and my parents' house. It was not allowed, so we had to switch and build on lots 9 and 10. The prison right across the street was probably the main reason that the house on 7 did not sell. So I don't have a problem with to save the Greenbelt valuation, lots 4 and 5 could be combined to make it over 5 acres, and 11 and 12 could certainly be combined to make it over 5 acres. And I have pictures and would be happy to, if somebody wanted to come out, I could explain it if somebody wanted to come out. I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. We cut hay on either pasture or hay on every bit that is able to be cut, and riding arenas and pasture on the rest of it. I think that's pretty much sums it up. I have pictures and would be happy to share them if anybody wants to look at them. Thank you. I think that's all.
Well, Ben, I mean, we've got your letter in here in which you state
Yes.
basically what you've stated there. And you had contact with the assessor's office and they gave you a notice of disqualification, and that's why
I'm here.
here
yes.
today. And I guess I didn't pick up in the letter why you've had this in the past and now you're disqualified? Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, I couldn't hear you real well.
You've had Greenbelt before and now you've been disqualified?
It's been Greenbelt ever since it was platted in 1965.
Okay.
So it's been Greenbelt until I got that letter was the first I ever knew about wanting to disqualify it.
And did...
So and then the letter said something about it's under 5 acres.
Oh.
Well, they could be, 11 and 12 could be combined to make it over 5 acres. And 4 and 5 could certainly, that would solve access. But I don't think 11 and 12 are suitable to build on because of no soil percolation.
If you have that map, it sure would be helpful to me to see what the lots are, because we don't have the map you're referring to.
What do you?
Do you have the map you're referring to with the lots?
Yes.
Could you put it on the screen for us so we could see it?
Put it here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay,
So start if you'd identify, Ben, the lots in question that you were referring to.
Okay, lot 4 is in question. There's a huge hill. There's no access to it off of Fairview Circle. And lots 11 and 12, the other two, I've used it as pasture. They're solid trees. I live on lot 7. There's a house on 9 and 10. I wanted to build initially 30-some years ago, wanted to build on 10 and 11, but it was not allowed because the soil would not percolate. We had to cut a jillion trees off of lot 10 to go ahead and put a lagoon in. So there's a lagoon on 9 and 10, and that's it.
And so did you lose...
All the open area, I cut hay and use it. Number 4 is pipe fenced for pasture for quarter horse yearlings. And, but it could be, I would be completely okay with 4 and 5 being combined. 11 and 12 could be combined. Then both of those would be lots over 5 acres, closer to probably 9.
Okay.
Do we have recommendations from staff real
Oh,
quick?
that's
I
what
just want to
I-
get staff input on this as well.
So what?
We have people that help us understand what our options are, and we don't... We're hopefully they're coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, hi, Derek Niederklein with the Lancaster County Assessor's Office, and the reason for Mr. James in here today is there was a change in the law over the last year regarding Greenbelt special valuation that added an additional requirement that if a parcel is under 5 acres, the owner or lessee must provide an IRS Schedule F indicating profit or loss from farming. And that began our review of these smaller tracts of land. Mr. James owns a handful of parcels, I think, as the map shows, 6 or 7 in that area. There were 3 that did not appear to be primarily used for ag purposes. As such, we talked to Mr. James, and there was no Schedule F that met that requirement. And that is consistent with the other 2 appeals that we have today.
Commissioner Shore and then Commissioner Amundson.
Okay, what about his idea of combining 4 and 5 and 11 and 12?
We still have an issue with the primary purpose of the parcel, the primary use being for the commercial production of an agricultural or horticultural product. In our office in discussions, he has horses in that area that is my understanding weren't grazed on some of these parcels at the as of January 1, 2020, when we reviewed the use of the land, or the statutory assessment date. And so we're still missing that element of commercial production of an agricultural or horticultural product. But one other thing to note is that we're discussing the Greenbelt status, but his concerns regarding some of those lots not being buildable are valuation issues that we would certainly look into.
Commissioner Hamilton?
That was my question, actually. So, thank you, Dan.
Okay. And Mr. James, are they all your horses?
It's all my own hay.
Okay.
We
But
put
you
up
don't.
lots of hay. They're all my or family horses.
Okay. You don't.
There
It's
is
not a
no-
commercial
there's no
enterprise.
there's no boarding, there's no.
Okay.
I have had cattle, I don't have cattle now. 4 is currently all pasture, 5 is hayland. I don't know how much more agriculture that can get. I have pastured 11 and 12, but they're grown up in trees. It's fenced on 2 sides. I could fence the other 2 sides and use that for pasture, but again, there's no boarding, it's just all my own personal or family activity. The hay that we cut is for my own consumption. I have another farm out at Denton. And so I think it's pretty totally agriculture, just like it has been as long as I've ever owned it.
But I do have a question, though.
Okay.
It says the owner of the land must be able to provide an Internal Revenue Service Schedule F, which documents a profit or a loss from farming out of the last 2 of the 3 years. So
Well-
have you been able to document a loss or a profit?
Well, it's just my own personal hay or my own personal horses. I just didn't know. I don't even know what a Schedule F is.
Wait, does that still apply when everything's for his own personal use here, Derek? I mean,
Yeah.
because he's not selling.
I'm not selling
Right.
any hay or horses. They're all our own. I use it for pasturing young horses or brood mares. There's also pasture on lots 1 and 2. The water tower for the city is on lot 3. But we cut hay on every inch of the land that's possible to cut hay on. It's really quite hilly. 4 is not suitable for hay, just pasture.
I think we get comment from the county attorney's office.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clear up, obviously a lot of this sounds agricultural. For purposes of this statute, without reading the entire statute, agricultural or horticultural purposes means use for the commercial production of any plant or animal product. So it's more about that commercial.
That's the status.
There are some exceptions, but his facts don't line up with those other exceptions for agricultural use.
It may be used for agricultural purposes, but if there's no profit or loss,
Well, the hay has a value. I'd have to buy it.
not selling it.
The what?
You're not selling it.
No, it's my own hay.
Yeah.
All right. Just one more question.
Yeah.
So what you're concerned about is that your property taxes are going to go up on these lots.
Sure.
And what Derek is saying is because so many of them are non-buildable, that your office hasn't taken that into account. So really, in balancing those 2, we could be right back to where we are, in theory.
yeah.
Or maybe even in a better place for Mr. James.
Well, yeah, in terms of reviewing the facts, we came to the conclusion that this parcel was not agricultural land, as such, didn't qualify for special valuation.
Right.
That determination on our part, and ultimately your decision, will lead us to then review the market value of that property and all of the factors that would affect its market value. And so we don't know what that value is right now, but certainly taking into effect lots being not buildable and that sort of thing are factors that affect market value.
Yeah, it's interesting that something was platted with so many unbuildable lots on it.
Right.
I find that surprising, but that was back in, what, 1960-something?
65.
65, so what's the timeline for that reevaluation or to look at?
So we'll review that valuation and as of January 1, 2020, and the preliminary valuation would be available for review by January 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, I just don't know how much more agriculture I could get.
I understand that.
Pasture and hay.
Yeah.
If I'm,
And I was turned down to build a lot, or to build a house. I was gonna build on 10 and 11, wasn't allowed. So we had to just cut a jillion trees and build on 9 and 10.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that they're buildable. I built the house on number 7 because I just didn't like being down so low back in that corner. It sat on the market for over 2 years, didn't sell. In order to utilize it, I moved into it myself and still live there. And like I said, if it needs to come to be more than 5 acres, I'm sure open to combining 4 and 5 and 11 and 12 if the acreage needs to be.
it sounds like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It sounds like the problem is not just the law has changed, and it's not just the 5 acres now, sir. It's also the fact that the agriculture is not commercial. There's no profit and loss in your agricultural operation because you're self-sustaining. And that's, if I'm following our attorney's explanation, it doesn't allow you to get in on the Greenbelt. There has to be some commercial activity through the agriculture. That's what I heard.
Well, it's just strictly, I'd have to buy hay if I didn't grow it myself.
Yeah,
It's still not a commercial purpose, unfortunately, so.
Yeah, you could sell your hay and buy someone else's hay. I'm sorry.
Do we have any other questions
could,
for
I guess.
Mr. James?
Mr. James, I think we get caught in these situations where the law is clear on what we can do and what we can't do, and what I'm hearing is that we don't have the authority. Thanks to Commissioner Shore pointing out, your property is going to be reevaluated with the understanding that a lot of it, or at least a portion of it, is unbuildable, and so that will be taken into account.
Sure.
But I don't think we have the authority here to overturn the.
Well, if somebody wanted to come out, I'd be happy to show them, but, I guess I don't have any other points to
I
make.
assume that'll happen.
And we'll continue this
than-
conversation and set up a time to come out and review the specifics.
Thank you, Derek.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you, that's it.
yeah.
For at least for now. Thank you for coming.
Anyone here to speak on items B or C?
Morning.
Morning. My name is Mark Hedrick. We have 3 lots are in question on here. A couple things, I guess, and some are similar to the gentleman that just spoke, but we were not aware of the Greenbelt situation until we got this letter. We weren't even aware of it. My CPA and also our company attorneys told me I could have easily filed the Schedule F if we didn't know we had to, because we have hayed part of these lots and sold the hay and gave in hay away both. But we were not told this was even necessary because we didn't know about the Greenbelt. So, but in addition, the one lot that's in question, if you check the county assessor records, has already been merged with a lot that we built our house on. It's already being charged accordingly based on the assessor's office, and that's what this is right here. Okay? The other 2 lots in question are also not buildable for a couple reasons. There are 2 lots directly adjacent to the 2 we build on,
And we gave up the water rights the day we bought those lots in 2018, so we couldn't build on them. In the area where we live, called Southridge Acres, which is off of 77th and Roca Road, there's no well opportunity. Every well person in the area, including Mosier and others, will tell you you can't dig wells out there. There's no water. So if you're not part of Rural Water 1, you don't get water. Well, we gave up those rights, and we bought those lots. There was never an intent to build on them, ever. So we just wanted the land, period. We didn't want every building on them, so we gave up the water rights. So even if we wanted to build now, we couldn't. Those two lots also have at least 50% of them that should be considered marsh ground. It's wet 24/7, 10 months out of the year. And if you wanted to build on those grounds, if you wanted to try, you would haul in hundreds and hundreds of semi-loads of dirt, if that would even work. So that's part of the other reason, but it was anyway. At the end of the day, on the Greenbelt side of it, again, we didn't know that existed. We weren't told in 2018 when we purchased the property that it was a Greenbelt situation. I don't know that it even showed up on our tax structure that it was Greenbelt. I don't remember ever seeing that anywhere. So we weren't even aware of it. Otherwise, like I said, based on what our CPA and attorney had said, that we could have easily filed that Schedule F. We could have filed it, but we didn't know it was even available. So he said, now if you want to file it, we'll file it now, if that suffices it. Other than that, yeah, those two lots that are in question, other than this third one, which we don't know why the first one, the 1515404005000, that is on the assessor page. It shows that lot is part of lot 1. It's all combined. Which, I put those on here. That work?
It's coming up. Takes a second to load. Oh.
You want it turned?
Well, I don't think we can see it. We're not zoomed in very close on that.
Do you have a map?
Yeah.
I don't have a map with me, no. But that will show you right there. It shows right there the lots 1 and 2 are already combined on the assessor report. So when it says this is being taken out of Greenbelt, this one lot number, it didn't make any sense. It's already being charged full value of that right now. So again, don't know why that is.
If you had more, keep going. I was just going to say.
No, like I say, the other two I had there in question, I have just copied the assessor report. I don't have a copy of the map.
Sure.
But again, said we have more than gladly submitted the proper document if we know that needed to be done, but we weren't aware of it. Sure. I know that ignorance is not not necessarily a ruling, but we weren't aware of it. So.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah, that's the law became effective January 1 of 2020 is all, and it did require a Schedule F for 2 out of the past 3 years. So it's something where the law passed. It required something, a form that would have existed prior. In terms of the 2 lots.
State law?
Pardon me?
This was a change in state law?
Yes.
Okay.
And in terms of the lots combined, those are still legal lots. They can be built upon. We've combined them for purposes of assessment into one assessment record. But at any time, those can they're still separate legal lots.
Well, they're not separate. We're on them. We're on those 2 that are combined. We build a house on those 2, so we're right on top of them now.
Right.
We have driveway cross. We have a 400-foot driveway. We have a driveway. I had to get a special easement that was required to cross my own property line. So we have a driveway crossing our property line, so it's occupied. So those lots are already occupied. We can't sell them now. We're on them. We live on them.
Right.
So the 2 lots that are really in question are lots 3 and 4, which, again, based on no water rights, and now that rural water is even in a moratorium, you couldn't get water rights if you wanted to at this point. So they aren't buildable.
And again, those are factors that affect the market value of the property that would be taken into consideration. But again, the primary use of those parcels as agricultural land and containing a Schedule F is what our review is based on at this point.
Right.
So when that passed in 2020, is there a reason why we weren't contacted that we needed to do this, that law was changed, and that's not done by the assessor office to contact us?
No, it's not. I think when we sent the notification requesting a Schedule F, and we highlighted the reason for that. That was intended to identify those that existed and have them on record.
We got the notification 3 weeks ago. But I'm just saying, if we'd have known about it in January prior to filing on taxes, we could have done that.
Question, did you say you had to have it for 2 of the previous 3 years?
Correct.
Okay, so just filing one now at this point is not, even if it was a commercial agricultural endeavor, filing it now wouldn't solve that problem. You have to have show a history of commercial agricultural use.
Correct.
Okay.
Another,
Okay, your neighbor takes 1 to 2 cuttings of hay from this property each year. Do you sell the hay to him?
I have sold it, and I've also given some.
Okay. Yeah.
well, I think you've heard our previous discussions.
Sure, yeah, I
sir,
did.
and
No, I did,
So
I
it
did.
sounds like in some form or another, there has to be commercial agricultural activity, and you're gonna have to document it with the federal forms in order to meet
Yeah,
the
and we,
statute.
you know, just, you could sell hay off of a half an acre and document it, that it's a sellable type product too. You can do that.
I
We just
understand.
weren't aware of it was even needed until this came about, so.
Sounds like it may not have been needed previously to this
Right.
year. That's what I'm hearing.
Right, but if we'd have known in January, we could have had this form filed with the taxes this year. We could have easily done that.
That would have been your first year.
Sure, right.
Right.
But they can back, you gotta go back also, if, I mean, you can do that. I mean, it's just possible you could have done it, so, but not being notified, not being aware of it, we had no idea. But again, in a separate issue, which you've already kind of alluded to, those lots were never intended to be built on. They're not buildable now at all because you have no water rights. You couldn't do it if you wanted to.
And so it's the same discussion we had with Mr. James
Right.
about changing the value of those as unbuildable lots.
Right. And I mean, if we could have, we could have also, we could have platted the entire 14 acres we have altogether, because we actually built the house on 2 lots, which is lot 1 and 2. We built it on the 2 lots. And then the 3 and 4 are purely to have the purpose of having them there and not being able to build on them. That's why we did away with the water rights at the time we came on it.
Right. Any other questions for Mr. Hedrick? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And is anyone here to speak on, that was A and C. Is anyone here to speak on?
Derek, wait, I have another question. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. On B for Bonita McMullen? No, okay.
Okay, 2 questions. Is Ms. McMullen's situation somewhat similar to what we've just heard? And are we going to be seeing more of these? How many people were involved with this, change in law and this Schedule F? And is this going to be like a recurring theme that we'll be addressing over the next couple of months?
First question, yes, her situation is substantially the same as these two. Vacant 2.5 acre piece roughly that is an extension of her home site with occasional cutting of hay that's given to the farmer in exchange for mowing and maintaining the property. We reviewed all of the parcels in the county, obviously, and I believe we sent out approximately 350 disqualifications. And
Might be a few of them.
but many of those were acreages that have been built upon in the current year, and so that's not out of the ordinary, because there are a lot of transition uses of those types of small acreage properties, which highlighted the legislature's intent to for those small properties to require additional information for them to qualify for the preferential assessment associated with special valuation. But there could be a few more protests that are filed of our determination, but don't anticipate many.
Off the top of your head, do you know the bill number? Maybe either of you know the bill number that was the bill that changed this law?
I believe it was LB 185.
185.
One question, Derek, then Ms. McMullen proposes putting the 6 acres, the 2 3-acre lots she has together in one 6-acre property. If she did that and she did the federal filing forms, would that requalify her for Greenbelt then?
I think we would take issue with that first step of the commercial production of an agricultural or horticultural product. Yeah, there's hay taken from that property, but in our discussions, there's no money that's exchanged. It's provided to the farmer in exchange for mowing the acreage.
We don't like the barter system. That doesn't quite meet the standards of it that way.
Well,
I'm looking at the committee statement right now on this, and it seems pretty clear. The land must be agricultural or horticultural land, the land must be located outside of, yeah.
It's just unfortunate that these people didn't have,
Right.
an earlier awareness of it, and I don't know how that would have happened, so.
Right.
Jane, well,
Well, I certainly sympathize with these three people, but I will
Yeah, the rules got changed on it.
move that we follow the recommendation of the county assessor and deny the appeals.
If you don't mind, if you do 3 separate motions.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. I will move that we follow the recommendation of the county assessor and deny the appeal for Pioneer Partners.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
I will move that we follow the recommendation of the county assessor and deny the appeal for Bonita McMullen.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
I will move that we follow the recommendation of the county assessor and deny the appeal for Mark Hedrick.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Move on to,
Next is public hearings. First public hearing is 2020-451 tax exemption application from Iglesia de Dios EC, Inc.
anyone here to speak on the public hearing for the 2020-451 tax exemption application?
Yeah, just
Can I swear you in?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Derek Niederklein, Lancaster County Assessor's Office. This was a situation where it was a transfer from a church to a church prior to levy date. We recommend approval.
Anyone else here to speak on this item for the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll move down to motor vehicle tax exemptions.
Next is 3B, motor vehicle tax exemption applications for St. Mark's United Methodist Church, Crystal Ray Catholic Church of Lincoln, Christian Heritage Children's Home, St. Paul United Methodist Church, People's City Mission, Sheridan Lutheran Church, and Great Plains Community Church.
You need us to close the other one, and then, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
I will close the public hearing on the 451 tax exemption application and open the fresh public hearing for the motor vehicle tax exemptions. Any members of the public here to, or anyone here to speak on the motor vehicle tax exemption applications? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close that public hearing.
Next is number 4A is the 2020-451 tax exemption application from Iglesia de Dios EC, Inc.
I move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum, Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. B is a motor vehicle tax exemption applications.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 5 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to County Board of Equalization business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
we are adjourned.